I'm going to show you all my best email marketing tips for 2019, and we're starting right now. If you want to transform your website into a customer or lead generation machine, I'll show you all my best tips, tactics, and secrets to get there fast. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Wes McDowell, a web strategist for The Deep End, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button and the little bell icon next to it so you never miss another video you need to succeed online. Okay, so new reports show that for every dollar a company spends on email marketing, they make about $44 in return, which makes that just an incredibly profitable marketing tool. And as with any marketing channel, things change and shift over time. Things that worked last year don't necessarily work this year. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my 6 best tips of things that are working like crazy right now in 2019 to really help you keep that relationship alive over the course of someone deciding to get on your list before actually becoming a paying customer. And hopefully these tips are going to speed up that process for you. All right, cool. So the first thing I want to talk about is simpler or no email design. So every time I'm putting together a new email funnel for a new client, I start getting emails from them of like little screen grabs or email forwards from big companies like Express or Sephora, and they say, why don't we do something like this? And I get it, those really design heavy emails look really cool and they look great in the inbox, and of course you would want something like that for your business. And almost every email provider out there, even the cheap ones, they come with all these templates built right into the software itself. So why not actually use those templates? Well, it's really simple because they look like one big fat commercial when they hit your inbox. Let's think for a second about what email is actually primarily supposed to be used for. It's communicating with family and friends. And sure, yeah, you use it for work as well, but when's the last time you sent an email to a friend that looked like this? The whole idea here is to casually slip into your customer's inbox as a friend, or at least as a helpful person that they can trust, that's not going to sell to them, but it's going to help guide them in the direction they want to go. So I just recommend doing what successful internet marketers have already been doing, and that's just sending out boring old plain text emails. And I'm only kidding when I say boring. I mean, it sounds boring, but these emails are much more likely to be read because they just look like a genuine email you would get from your friend or your neighbor or your family member. And the other reason to ditch those template emails is because all the images inside it and the links is the best way to make sure that you never reach your customer's inbox. That little promotions tab in Gmail? You don't want to end up there, okay? You want to end up in the actual inbox where you belong, so let's try to keep those images and links in the email to a minimum. I recommend no more than a single link per email, and preferably no images at all, but if you have to use one, if it adds some color or adds something special to the message of the email, go ahead and do one, but limit it to that. One way I like to add an image to an email is not by adding a product image or anything promotional, but just some kind of an animated GIF that either supports one of the points of the email or just adds some humor or fun to it so it's a little more memorable. Just choose it wisely. You know your audience, you know what they're going to find funny most likely, so just make sure it hits home with them and they get the reference. All right, next I want to talk about storytelling in your emails. So this is something that I want to improve this year and something I definitely want to start incorporating into my overall email marketing strategy. So rather than just delivering a tip or advice in the email, make it count for more by including a really short story that illustrates that point. There are whole parts of your brain that just light up and fire off when it hears a good story. Plus it makes it just more relatable and personal, especially if you're talking about something in your own past or a current or past customer. So rather than just explaining how your clients can stage their home to sell faster, maybe include a story about a past client who refused to do that, and then the house sat on the market for a long time until she finally gave in and did, and then sold her house for $10,000 above asking price. And make the story colorful when you can. Include how you were feeling watching all that happen, and then how she felt when she finally sold her house. All right, next up, I want you to start incorporating video in 2019 in your emails. And not only put video in your emails, but say so right in the subject line. That's gonna double your open rates. The other benefit is people are much more likely to actually consume your content and get the message you're trying to send them in a video format versus reading plain text. And almost everybody's much more able to, understand and retain that information when they're seeing it and hearing it in video. Just take whatever content you were going to put in your email and just make a short video about it. And it doesn't even have to be high production value. That trips a lot of people up, thinking they have to get a whole camera crew and spend hundreds of dollars on a video. You 100% don't. Just use your smartphone, do a short selfie style video. It'll connect just fine and you get your point across. Then finally, just upload it to YouTube and get a little screen capture of the thumbnail of that and put that image right in your email and then link it to the video itself. All right, next, play the hits. So many small businesses get really intimidated when they start thinking about putting together an email campaign. But more times than not, they already have content that they can repurpose and string together into an email series that they can just set it up once, and then it gets automatically sent out to new email subscribers at the exact moment that they end up opting into it. So if Tom opts in for my freebie today, his series starts today with a new helpful email every week until that series is over. Then when Meg opts in next April, her cycle starts then, getting the exact same email series. So if you have some great blog posts already, or a podcast interview you did, or a video, anything like that, that's all content that you can use. You just have to introduce it in the email and then link to it. And if you don't have anything yet, that's okay. Just start writing one new email a week for as long as you think the series should go on for, and then just put that email every time at the end of that campaign. So essentially, you're just building this email campaign out at your own pace once, and then it can go on and live on forever. And I recommend kind of splitting up the content here and there. Maybe some blog posts, some videos, and some weeks you can even go a little easier on yourself and just put the information or the tips right in the body of the email itself. You could even link out to content every once in a while that you had nothing to do with creating. Just put your own spin on it in the body of the email, letting people know why you think it's helpful for them, and then just link out to it. All right, the other thing that's working really well now is by using some simple segmentation. Let's say your business offers a few different types of services or has a few different types of products that interest different types of customers. Like if you're a landscaper, you might offer, tree removal service, landscape design, and weekly lawn maintenance. You could theoretically create 3 different lead magnets or freebies that are geared toward each service. Then you could start each person who opts in for the freebie about lawn care onto that email sequence. So basically they would be on track A. Then when someone downloads the freebie all about your options for landscaping, then they get put in that email sequence, so they're on track B. And they start getting helpful content related to that service. And this is really powerful because these are 2 different types of customers that have a different goal in mind. So if you started just sending out a mixture of both of those topics to all of those customers, a lot of them might start unsubscribing, right? Or you could have one overarching umbrella lead magnet or freebie, and then that's kind of interesting to everyone. And then when they're downloading it, you can just have a simple option where they check which service are they most interested in. And then your email provider, like MailChimp, or I use Drip, they would see what box they checked, and that automatically puts them on either track A or track B. All right, next I want to talk about re-engaging or scrubbing your list. So it's really good to have a big list. Quantity can be good. It's all a numbers game, but it's more important to have a quality list that actually opens your emails and it is looking forward to hearing from you every week. So if you have a big list of people who really aren't ever opening your emails, you run a higher risk of your emails being flagged as spam or getting high unsubscribe rates. And these are basically really bad signals to the email providers like Gmail. And what happens is if you get enough people who are flagging your emails as spam or unsubscribing from your emails, they can start putting you out of the inbox and into either the promotions tab, or even worse, you can wind up in the spam folder. And that goes for your entire list, not just the people who flagged you as spam. If someone flags you as spam, they won't get your emails anymore, but all the people who even like hearing from you, it's gonna go in their spam folder as well. So you definitely don't want that to happen. And the other advantage of having a leaner list of only the people who are most interested in hearing from you is cost. Most of these service providers, MailChimp, Drip, ActiveCampaign, all of them, they basically bill you based on how many subscribers you have. So it makes sense to, weed out some of the ones who are just dead weight, essentially. But before you start just kicking people out like a bouncer, you might want to run a simple re-engagement campaign. And here's how that works. You're just going to use your email marketing program. Again, I use Drip to basically segment out people who haven't opened any of your emails for, I like to say the last 90 days. Then you're going to want to start a brand new campaign that's geared just to those people. What I would recommend is a series of 4 value-based emails where you're just teaching something helpful, giving some advice, something like that. And these emails are not to be promotional or selling at all. These are just pure value, and you're going to drip out those 4 emails over 2 weeks. Then at the end of the 2 weeks, anyone who hasn't opened any of those emails, now's the time when you're going to kick them off your list. And I know this sounds counterintuitive, especially if you don't already have a big list, but the truth is, by getting rid of the people who don't want to hear from you, it's going to really make your deliverability better for the ones that do want to hear from you, so you can wind up where you want to be, which is in their primary inbox. All right, now I want to hear from you, and I want to know which of these methods are you excited to try out in 2019, or if you don't have a list yet, I want to know what's stopping you from getting one started, so leave it all in the comment section below, along with any questions you have. I'll read through everything and get to all the questions I possibly can. All right, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click right down here, the circle icon, to subscribe. And if you haven't accessed my free mini course yet, How to Guarantee Website ROI, you're definitely going to want to check that out, and you can get that by clicking this box right over here. All right, I'm Wes McDowell for The Deep End, and I'll see you in our next video.